One autumn, I cycled 1,800 kilometers from Cap de Cruz, the easternmost point of Spain, to Cabo da Roca, the westernmost point of Portugal. After nearly 3 weeks on the road, and after camping in storms and passing through mountains, deserts and wastelands, I made it to Portugal and spent my first night camping by the shores of a reservoir. All that was left to do was cycle to the other side of the country. However, I couldn't finish the ride before ticking a certain something off of my to-do list. Something unique about the highest point in mainland Portugal, known as Torre, is that there's a road that goes all the way to the top, and the idea of cycling there was too tempting to pass up. So, leaving the reservoir behind, I set off for the Estrella mountain range, some 60 kilometers west. Starting the ascent in mid-afternoon, it wasn't long before the sun began to set and the temperature began to drop. Not having packed gloves, I resorted to wearing socks on my hands when I got to 1,700 meters up. Ultimately, I arrived in complete darkness and straight away set up my tent on grass covered with frost. So it was only in the morning that I was really able to see the incredible landscapes that were all around me. I met another touring cyclist a couple of days later who was cycling the N2, a 700 kilometer road from the north to the south of the country, from Chaves to Faro. We distracted each other with chat on the ascents, filled our bottles at village fountains, and raced each other down the hills. When we parted ways at the end of the day, we thanked each other for the company, then I set off in search of somewhere to sleep, eventually finding a spot on top of a hill at the end of an abandoned track and in a forest of eucalyptus. In the morning, I followed a glistening river flanked by hills of pine, where white birds drifted serenely in the cool air. Despite the idyllic landscapes, I passed dozens of abandoned buildings, from simple farmhouses in the hills to a centuries-old mansion on the shores of the Tagus, the longest river on the Iberian Peninsula. Eerily, a bell occasionally rang from inside the forgotten mansion, and I half expected to see a ghostly figure watching me from behind one of the shattered windows. Then, finally, one day, I made it to within reach of Cabo da Roca. Mist swept through the forest as I crept forwards beneath a grey sky. I thought back to my first night on Cap de Cruz, and about how Salvador Dali had built a house there so he could be the first person in Iberia to see the sun emerge from the Med. So, while my hopes for an idyllic sunrise at Cap de Cruz were whisked away by what might have been an actual hurricane, maybe it was fitting I didn't get a sunset finish either. But when I saw those words on that modest stone monument, Cabo da Roca, westernmost point of continental Europe, my arms went limp, and I hung my head over my handlebars, After 23 days and 1800 kilometers, I'd made it, and that was all that mattered.